You gotta probably get a beacon in the middle or
I have
something.
a beacon.
Where would someone find a beacon?
Put it in the middle.
I have a beacon.
Hmm.
Do you want me to take it? I'll take it.
Around.
It's not
wait.
mine.
I'll
Might
take
as
it.
well. All the mining has already been done.
Yeah. People keep losing beacons.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
And all
look,
their stuff to make the beacons.
It's almost like there's a whole pyramid of beacons in there too. That's crazy. How did this happen? Okay, just sneaking back in here. Hopefully this is safe. Yep, okay, good so far. So I'm gonna make something that I consider fairly useful. You just take any 4 will make a valid combination. There are 6 in total. I have these 4. You just pop 4 different ones on these altars. And this thing will light up and eat all of your levels. Takes 30 levels worth of points, because they gotta go somewhere. And it does take a minute if you're by yourself and it's not draining from 3 people at once. So we're just gonna fast forward. And here we go. Alright, and that has made us a fabricator, which does pretty much the exact same thing as the shell dredger, but in reverse. You can see it's sort of a similar design. This, instead of digging up materials and putting them in a box, will take materials and place them down in a predefined pattern, which you can define with end rods. The only difference with the fabricator is that instead of being powered by Dragon's Breath, it is powered by experience. More specifically, experience bottles, which we do have a way of getting, but it takes another artifact that I didn't make and don't have the levels to make. I'm going to see if I set off any shriekers doing this. Yep. And we leave. This was good information, but I am done down here and would like to go. This is a chunk loader. That's the chunk it's loading. This is how you power it. It's going to run for about 2 hours. Some may wonder why I am so vehemently against the recent addition of the armadillo. This is sort of twofold. A, I just don't think that wolf armor is all that useful. The problem with wolves is not that they have low defense, it's that they have terrible AI. The other reason is that it was part of the 2023 mob vote, a charade that I find less and less entertaining by the year, that won out with only 40% of the vote, I might add, against the crab, which was supposed to be coupled with an item that would extend the player's reach. Now, this would be tremendously useful in a scenario like this, where I'm constantly falling off of buildings trying to place buttons on a tiny little ledge 15 feet away from me. So, part of my design philosophy here, which I think is sort of at odds with some of the decisions that I keep not being satisfied with, is obviously this is a city that was experiencing imminent catastrophe and sort of was being forced into a smaller and smaller habitable zone as inclement weather and a weird plant sort of drove them both inwards to get away from the weather and outwards to get away from the plant. And the idea being that as they moved further and further inwards, the buildings towards that sort of habitable zone ring were developed more and more. So the buildings are sort of meant to look like they were, developed, and then another building was stacked on top of that, which is why the ones that I built all so far have this one central balcony that you could be forgiven for assuming was a rooftop at one point, and then had another building stacked on top of it, which is what I literally just did here. And also you can sort of see how the architecture changes as it starts to go up a little, as though they were built at different times. But the problem is that the thing I keep running into, and that I might have to reconsider some of these design choices, is that whenever I build one of these, it looks like a big old mouth. That over there, I think I need to get rid of those planters, because all I'm seeing is two eyes and a goofy looking Muppet face. And the same thing here, I have to be very careful, because otherwise this just looks like a gaping maw. And this, I think, is where hanging plants down it is going to help to break up that shape a little, but it's becoming sort of an issue, and I think I'm going to try and move away from having quite so many of these be converted balconies. I think some people did just suck it up and decide to build on top of their roofs instead of leaving that up there. I also need to put this back. So that's sort of the extension to the storage area, basically, is the gist of that. I need to fill in the rest of this roof, get the scaffolding out. Let's talk about some of these things over here. Not that, these. So these things are interesting to explain. The short of it is this will hold on to things like, for example, projectiles, or more specifically an ender pearl that I've thrown. And this is wireless redstone. That's all you need to know. There's a thing. This thing, you tune an eye of ender to it, and then you throw it, and then sort of, triggers that sensor. It emits a redstone pulse, pushes the ender pearl out of the. This is called a static altar. This is a receptor frame. Pushes the ender pearl out of the static altar, and it drops, and I teleport back here. Now, this is not tremendously useful without these things that I've moved over here. This, as I already explained, is a range anchor. It's a chunk loader. This chunk is being force loaded. Here's the big hole being dug. This is a knowledge catalyst. It's basically a battery, I guess. You can store your experience in there. I don't have any right now, or I would show you. And then this thing will siphon off that experience if it needs it to power itself. Or, again, there's not enough experience in there and I don't have enough to put in there, but you can use a bottle on it and get a bottle of enchanting. And that is basically just, force loading this chunk right here so that this guy stays running, because this hole is going to go pretty deep and take a while. The reason all these hoppers are here, by the way, is A, to unload it, and B, because if it goes over a hopper, it will think it's supposed to unload and it won't fire, and so it won't expend fuel. Okay, that was not a smart thing to do. Yeah, so when this goes over a hopper, it doesn't try to fire, doesn't try to expend fuel, and will unload anything it's carrying. So this is basically an easier way to shape the hole that it's digging. I don't need another zombie villager, sorry, man. Here, give me some experience so I can show off what the catalyst that went into repairing my wings. Thanks for nothing. And these end rods here are range extenders. Basically, this thing goes 13 blocks without hitting an end rod. It will just assume that, it's gone rogue and stop, basically. So you put down an end rod every so often to extend the range. And I think this spans about, it's close to a chunk, so I think this is maybe 14 or 15 blocks total, so you need at least one range extender in there to dredge up the whole chunk. But it's been doing pretty good. I've got a lot of stone. lot of stone. So this is fine because I just installed this, which is bulk storage. You come up here and you do that basically, and then that will filter down. There's a whole train of hoppers going into chests, going into hoppers, and it all filters down to here. You pull a stack out of here, it immediately refills. Pretty straightforward, but a good thing to have because I was having problems with too much dirt last season, and I get the feeling I'm going to have problems with too much stone this season because, of course, the dirt is all going to turn into mud. I realized this. You can put an item frame on the back of a trapdoor, put a block in it. You can still see the block through the back of the item frame, and then you can have the trapdoor and just have, like, I guess a targeting crosshair over the block or something. I don't know. It's something. I can't sleep either because there's 4 people on now. So it's just going to have to be nighttime, I guess. And I did fill out the storage room. So these are all my woods. I may have gone over this. I got the signs pointing to the chest. This is, I think, I'm going to need some more boxes because, like, this is not going to be enough for tools because they don't stack, obviously. Redstone, I think, is good, and just, like, ocean stuff. I'm not near an ocean. That doesn't matter. I got 2 chests for metal things, and then all of this that we'll get to later. And sand, I guess, and glass or whatever, nether stuff. You get the point. This shelf should not have books on it I actually want. That needs to be its own room. But I'm going to need, I have an idea for like a blacksmith or an armory or something to keep my tools in, and I'd like to get a library to keep the books in, and some sort of dye station to keep all my dyes in, because I don't have a chest for that in here. And then obviously like a brewing room for this stuff, and yeah. So, but those are going to be separate buildings. They'll probably be near here. This, I think, is going to be the shulker unloader, and I don't know what this is going to be yet, but I know I would like to have a building here, because I've got 2 windows here that I think it'd be easy to, you know, have like I keep going back to the example of have a clothesline between these 2 that you have to sneak across or something. But one thing at a time. So let's talk about these fellas. So the fabricator, I've sort of already explained. It's basically the opposite of a shell dredger. You put items in it and it'll place stuff. So it's got an inventory up here. You put fuel in down here. It will pull an item from this inventory, and if it can place it, it will try to place it, and if not, it'll just eject it like a dispenser or like a dropper. You can put a shulker box in there and it will pull stuff out of the shulker box and place it. You can put a bundle in there, same deal. If you need, you know, more than 27 stacks of stuff to be placed at once, which might end up being the case at some point. Like, for example, if I need to line the walls of a 192 plus block deep hole. Oh, probably way more than that because we're at Y100, so probably closer to 300 block deep hole. Good lord, what have I gotten myself into? Why did I do this to myself? Anyway, I'm going to have a mud machine later that automatically makes mud for me. It's fine. This was the thing that I made immediately after I made bulk storage and realized, why am I doing this? This is a condenser cell. You can take just stuff and put it in there and it will hold 10,000 of the same item, I think. Or no, that's wrong. 100,000 of the same item. And then you just right click and it drops out. I need to probably have a way to get it to dispense directly into your hand too. I think that's probably easier to do now than it was when I first added it. But that's something that's good to have. We'll see which of these fills up the most, and then that will probably be what I use the condenser cell for. That might honestly have its own building. Something that outputs a lot of stuff is gonna be like, if I have like a farm that's making like 1 million wheat per hour, which seems very unlikely considering the type of farm that I like to make, which is to say the kind that I don't have to put 16 hours of work into. But you know, if I get a mob farm that's making too much of something, it will probably go in the condenser cell, and I can always make another one. Like, that's not hard. Well, I say that I don't have enough materials for that. Let's talk about this first. Let's see, anybody home? You there. You look like a fine upstanding citizen. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take your boss. Hang on. All right, so you put this down, power it. Come on. Free flag spike. So we've got this guy now. We pop this in here. And he's back. Good. Thanks for coming over. We don't want you. So that's that. Very useful. Takes experience to fuel it, and then it'll... Oh, good lord! What did you do?
What do you mean? I did it.
Yeah, but...
Okay, I
Okay.
kind of want to do it now.
I'm not finishing that recording, I guess. Yeah. All right, let me just real quickly finish what I was doing, and then I was explaining how these relics work. And then this is a freaky circle machine. You go in one side and you go out the other. Freaky circle. That's all you need to know. I'm gonna go talk to DarkLlama now. We're here.
Yep. No holes, nothing.
Now, once I fall in here, do I have to course correct to land in the hole properly?
No, us don't move at all.
Okay.
I'm gonna let Kirb do this first.
I should have put my totem in my offhand before I did this.
Too late.
Okay, I think I'm-
Possibly.
I think this is working. Please tell me I opened that fence gate.
This is so nerve-wracking.
I trust the process.
Takes a while to hold down. Hey, he did it.
Okay, I
Hey.
got the really hard to get hat. Boy, I sure hope that worked correctly. Yep, there's zombies. Alright, I'm gonna try out the fabricator here. As I said, fairly straightforward, same basic principle as the dredger. Put it down, put that stuff in it. So 12 bottles. And there we go. It'll come back around in place here in a minute. And that's just gonna go, pretty much. And then when it loops back around to there, it's gonna do another circle and keep repeating that until, all right, you can see it go, yep, right there, turns. Putting in those walls, and then eventually it's going to get back around, and when it finally gets all the way up to the top, it's just going to stop because it's not going to have any space to place blocks. So we'll see what that does. Update on the death pit. It's going pretty good. I think the outside is now down past 0. Yep, we're getting close to where the bottom of the world is normally. Quite a bit further to go to the actual bottom of the world. We'll see how deep I decide to make this thing. I don't think I have enough dragon breath to get this whole thing down to bedrock, but, you know, down to negative 64 is a good start. I should not have come out here. Okay. Yeah. So, my next step, and this has been kind of a difficult step, is I need to actually plan where the city's going to go. Now, this is going to be the center, but the problem is that it's right up against this hill. And I think I got to get rid of this hill because it's in a bad spot. I liked the deep hole, and it's pretty central to where all of the stuff I want is, because the ancient city's there. There's the river. That's across the bay. I got that pillager outpost there I'd like to do something with. You've got, this is probably going to be a harbor or something, but it's in a really, really bad spot because I want to put a structure around this, and this is in like the middle of the courtyard, but it's right on a hill and right next to a hill. So I just got to tear out this hill, I think. Yeah, so I think I'm going to let these things run. I'm just going to start putting in buildings, and we're going to fast forward to a point to where I think it's interesting again. Now, what is this? Strictly speaking.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think you sail the boat in here to pay.
Oh, of
Of
course.
you
This
pay
is
in wheat.
the toll booth for the canal that only we are going to use.
Yes, it will be empty.
Yeah.
Um,
And then
I haven't
this is
figured that out
just
yet.
a building, I guess. Have you been sleeping on the side of this wall?
Yes, it's too dangerous down here. I don't have any thackles up, so things
Yeah.
spawn.
Here, have a thackle. So here's how you get into the shulker reloading room.
Of course.
You got to get a running start.
Of course. Oh my.
Yeah. So they're not loaded, but I've got them color coded to what goes where. I think the center for ants that I sent you earlier is probably...
Ah, yes.
Because here's the thing, right, is that what I was having trouble with was how do we have a hole and a building and have the hole be like a courtyard? And I think if the courtyard is indoors, like in a hotel, you know, and then we have a smaller spire on top of this, because in my mind, the central building is like the roof has been blown out and the plant is coming out the top.
Yes.
But also up near the top is the throne room. And I think that having the Jabba the Hutt door way up at the top would really add to... Because then not only would it be falling 300 meters...
I guess it'd be falling off a building too.
Now there's 3 versions of this, right?
Okay.
They fall and die. Easy.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then at the bottom we have a skulk catalyst that harvests their XP and stores it for us.
Oh.
Version 2, they fall in, survive. There's an angryman down there. He kills them. Skulk catalyst still harvests their XP.
Yep.
Version 3, they fall into the void.
Oh.
And then when they land in the void, that's where the Rancor pit is.
Oh.
I think the next step here, we need more sherds. I hate to say it. We don't have a lot.
Ah.
Okay. You did
I've
it.
made the 4th step. Be looking the laves.
Okay. You need to turn that off.
Bristle a wary cleat to reap a pot sherd.
Can you go over to the storage room real quick?
And?
Just, you see where all the sniffers are?
Yes.
Do you see the radar dish doing the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps?
Yes.
Okay, stand there for a second. Here I come.
Oh. Oh my.
Oh!
It actually hit me. That's crazy. Gotta be somewhere around here somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know that this is the best way to do it. Oh!
Eh?
Hmm.
It's really 2 feet to the right. Oh.
3! Right there.
Wow.
A big blob.
Spawn.
Alright, so we know there's no more in that chunk. Up. You've got to be kidding me.
Hmm.
My RNG has shifted. I got 3 more! Found another one. I don't know how this is happening. This, I think, may actually be the single worst way we could be doing this.
Think of all the netherrack.
The netherrack that I've just been throwing into lava. Oh my god.
Yeah.
found another one. We've got a
Oh,
frog
yeah.
light machine. Have you seen the frog light machine?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
It's-
Do I want to know about the gravestone? Yeah, it's interesting.
Yes, yes.
This is so dangerous. This has gone past the point where feather falling will protect you from the fall damage, and I also just fell in there once and, you know, caught myself. I was just like gently gliding to the bottom and still took like enough fall damage to kill me, which I think was probably due to server lag, but still, I'm very scared of this now. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about this. Obviously, this is the only side that's even close to done, and I want to do a little more with up here. But this is this I think is working a lot better than what I had previously. And there's going to be a this is like the base, and there's going to be another building on top of this that goes up quite a bit higher. But yeah, I think I can actually figure out what the hell I'm doing with this one, as opposed to previously where I had no goddamn idea. But also, like, I just turns out I was quite ill, or about to be quite ill, as I was working on that last clip, which may have wounded my motivation slightly. But yeah, I think this is going to be a lot more interesting. I still don't know how the hell I'm going to path out the rest of this, but for the time being, I think this is probably good for 1 3-week span, or however long this has taken me. And there's still a lot to do, and no reason to do it right now. So we'll take a break and come back to it later. Oh! Good. Good. That's good.
Yeah. Is like a backup. Yeah, I saw to it real fast.
Would you like to borrow my recovery compass?
No, I know exactly why I died.
That's good. You need some fireworks?
Oh, yes. Oh, come on!
Llama!
I don't even know how that happened. That time.
Llama. You can fly, man!
Well, you know, a backup to my backup. Yeah, I saw.
That actually hurt. So okay.
Come on!
You've got to be kidding me. While you're here, something you might want to see.
Well,
You've got a man living in your satellite dish.
What was my target?
I don't suppose you have a backup to your backup, Elytra.
I do.
A backup to your
actually.
backup to your back.
Yes, it's my ass one, but oh no, I actually have 3 more. One.
Okay.